Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. My name is Denethar, and today we're going to be going over some of the hero talents that were revealed by Blizzard a couple days ago for the War Within. Today we're looking at the Deathbringer Death Knight, and let's take a look at this. All right. So, Deathbringer Death Knights. Actually, let's go back. We'll read the little description here. Deathbringers are the emissaries of death. Empowered by the Shadowlands, their physical strikes and abilities aim for the enemy's souls and vanquish them without mercy. Okay. You said Shadowlands, so minus 1 point for Gryffindor. Okay, Deathbringer is for Frost and Blood Death Knight. And this is the talent tree mock-up that they have given us. And right off the bat, the keystone ability is Reaper's Mark. Says costs 2 runes, and it's a 1-minute cooldown. Viciously slice through the soul of your enemy, dealing Shadow Frost damage and applying Reaper's Mark. Okay, so this is a debuff that goes onto the target. Every time you deal Frost or Shadow damage, add a stack of Reaper's Mark after 12 seconds, or reaching 40 stacks, the mark explodes, dealing damage per stack. So if you 12 seconds and you only have 30 stacks, you get that much damage. Reaper's Mark travels to an unmarked enemy nearby if the target dies or explodes below 35% health. When there are no enemies to travel to, this explosion cannot occur again on a target for 3 minutes. Okay, so I have a few problems with this. And I hope that they kind of look at this. One, if the target dies or explodes below 35% health, it travels to an unmarked enemy. If it doesn't, then it just dies with the target. Okay. This explosion can occur again on a target for 3 minutes. So if you're on a boss fight, this happens once, and then maybe twice if it's a long boss fight. Okay. So we're not off to a good start, but let's take a look. Wave of Souls. Reaper's Mark unleashes a dark wave towards your target and back, dealing Shadowfrost damage both ways. To all enemies caught in its path, Wave of Souls. Critical strikes cause enemies to take 5% increased Shadowfrost damage for 15 seconds, stacking up to 2 times, and the wave back is always a critical strike. Okay, so this is one of these where you go out, and it comes back. And if you've got enemies popped all throughout, it hits them. If you do it this way, and you miss all these guys, then you don't do a whole lot of damage. So I guess you need to be standing in the right direction. I'm not sure how that works because it just says Reaper's Mark unleashes a dark wave. So I guess if you're facing your target. So yeah, hope you're not like trying to hit the caster over here and then whoop, and everyone else is over here. Anyway, Blood Fever, your Blood Plague. For Blood Death Knights, your Blood Plague has a chance to deal 30% increased damage as Shadowfrost. And for Frost, your Frost Fever has a chance to deal 30% increased damage as Shadowfrost. And that Shadowfrost damage, of course, will add to your stacks for Reaper's Mark, so that's good. Good symmetry there. Bind in Darkness, Shadowfrost damage applies double stacks to Reaper's Mark and quadruple stacks when it's a critical strike. Okay, I mean that's okay. So this is how we're going to get to 40 stacks by just we're adding a bunch of stuff. Okay, Blood Boil deals Shadowfrost damage. All right, that's really good. Rhyme Empowered Howling Blast deals Shadowfrost damage. Okay, also really good. Yeah, make sure you hit those rhyme stacks. It's even more important than ever. Yeah, okay. So far we're feeding well. I don't love this mechanic the way it's described, but maybe if I saw it, it would look a lot cooler and function a lot better. So. All right. Shuddering Soul. Reaper's Mark explosion causes a piece of the target soul to tear out and spiral outward. Okay, that sounds kind of cool. Dealing 10% of the explosion's damage to enemies it passes through. Okay, all right. So spiral outward. So I guess if you hit this guy and it explodes and it just okay, that's fine. Enemies hit by this effect deals 5% reduce physical damage to you for 10 seconds. All right, that's really nice because especially for a Blood Death Knight, for Frost it's okay. It's great. It's kind of like a nice to have, but for Blood, 5% reduced physical damage. That's for 10 seconds. That's huge. That's like a cooldown. A small one, but still. Okay. All right, I like that. Grim Reaper, Reaper's Mark explosion deals up to 30% increased damage based on your target's missing health. Okay, so I guess however much damage they have taken up till this point, it will do up to 30% damage. So we don't know what that percentage is. If they have 70% health, how much damage does it do? We don't know, but there's going to be a formula. And it applies Soul Reaper to targets below 35% health, which is great because I never pick Soul Reaper. So, Death Bargain. When you suffer a damaging effect equal to 25% of your maximum health, you instantly cast Death Pact at 50% effectiveness. May only occur every 2 minutes. I mean, that's okay, I guess. It's like a halfway Death Pact every 2 minutes. When a Reaper's Mark explodes, the cooldowns of this effect and Death Pact are reduced by 5%, or reduced by 5 seconds. 5% would be, I don't know. That's math. Boop. Okay. I mean, this is, yeah, all right. The incentive here is to make Reaper's Mark explode as often as possible, but you know, we got this 3-minute thing. So, okay. Rune carved plates. Each rune spent reduces the magic damage you take by 2%, and each rune generated reduces the physical damage you take by 2%. For 5 seconds up to 5 times. So what I'm hoping is that this 5 seconds kind of rolls as you generate more runes, then it keeps rolling, and as you spend more runes, it keeps rolling. So that ideally you can get this 10% because it stacks up to 5 times. So 2% times 5 is 10. I can do math for 5 seconds. So if you keep it rolling, you're going to keep this damage reduction. And if you combine that with this damage reduction here, it's looking pretty good. Okay. I think this is supposed to be a choice node, but they didn't draw the lines in, so we're just going to go with it. Swift End, Reaper's Mark cost is reduced by 1 rune, and its cooldown is reduced by 50%, so we're going to go down to 1 rune and 30 seconds. That's pretty good. Or Painful Death, Reaper's Mark now explodes at 50 stacks, and the first Scythe of Exterminate has a 100% chance to apply Reaper's Mark. Okay, we'll get to Exterminate, and then we'll come back to this. Okay, another choice node, Dark Talons. While Icy Talons is active, your runic power spending abilities deal Shadowfrost damage. Marrowrend and Heartstrike have a 20% chance to increase the maximum stacks of a night active Icy Talons by 1 up to 2 times. I mean, I guess that's fine. That's not super compelling. Consuming Killing Machine or Rhyme has a 20% chance to increase the maximum stacks of an active Icy Talons by 1 up to 2 times. Again, not super compelling. That 20% chance, if it was a 50% chance, that would be cool because it's like every other time. That would be awesome. Or Wither Away, Blood Plague deals its damage in half the duration, and the second Scythe of Exterminate applies Blood Plague. And then the same thing for Frost Fever. Second Scythe applies Frost Fever. Okay, so that's good, I think. Okay, so we're going to get to Exterminate, but last one here. Death Messenger reduces the cooldown of Lichborn and Raise Dead by 30 seconds, or Expelling. When an enemy deals direct damage to your anti-magic shell, their cast speed is reduced by 10% for 6 seconds. This seems like more of a PvP thing, but I guess if you're fighting caster mobs, it's fine. Okay. Exterminates. This is your capstone ability. So this is like the money. After Reaper's Mark explodes, 3 minutes. Your next Marrowrend or Obliterate cost no runes and summon 2 scythes to strike your enemies. Okay. So every explosion causes this free attack and these 2 scythes. The first scythe strikes your target for physical damage and has a 15% chance to apply Reaper's Mark. Okay, so if it just exploded, see this makes no sense. The first scythe strikes your target for physical damage and has a 15% chance to apply Reaper's Mark. Why am I applying Reaper's Mark if I can't explode again for 3 minutes? This does not make sense. The second scythe strikes all enemies around your target for Shadowfrost damage. Okay, I mean, that's cool, but so if we go back here, Reaper's Mark now explodes 50 stacks, and the first scythe of Exterminate has a 100% increased chance to apply Reaper's Mark instead of 15%. So I mean, that's cool, but if it doesn't explode but every 3 minutes, yeah, I don't like that. This one is really cool, though, because the second scythe strikes all enemies around your target for Shadowfrost damage, and if you choose Wither Away, it applies Blood Plague or Frost Fever to the target. That's really cool. So this whole tree is really important to me because my I call him my main, but he's retired. My main character is Denethor. He's a Death Knight. He's a Blood Death Knight, but I'm terrible at tanking, so I often play him Frost, just so that I can get in and do stuff. So this is a really important one to me, and I've been really looking forward to this. And honestly, I'm kind of underwhelmed. Um, I think this is going to have to change. They're going to have to figure out how to make this work better because 3 minutes that this explosion cannot occur again. What is the point of that when you're applying this Reaper's Mark back to the same target again with your capstone ability? That doesn't make sense, Blizzard. Please look at this. I think that this has the potential to be really cool with this kind of Reaper's Mark going out to all your targets, and you're applying this, and you got your diseases going out, and their diseases are doing more damage, and the damage is Shadowfrost, so it's feeding back. It's all very it feeds it well into each other. However, I think that this 3 minute thing needs to be clarified. If it means that it can't spread more than every 3 minutes, it's fine. But if you can keep applying Reaper's Mark and keep having it explode on the same target, then this is really good. Yeah. So, I looked at the Sandlane tree for blood as well, and I really liked that. But again, like I said, I try to tank, and I'll probably end up tanking some Mythic Zeros on my Death Knight because there's no timer, and that's one of the biggest problems is that I'm slow. I'm slow at tanking. I'm like, I'll pull these two guys. Yeah. So that's the Deathbringer hero talent tree for the War Within for Blood and Frost Death Knights. If you have any comments, or if you disagree with my take, or you want to point out something that I missed, please leave it in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one.